an assertion that came from, but this is in relation to what we were talking about last week, to say the people who were in attendance at Winky D's show were in excess of 500, and the police officers who actually came to escort or to take him from the podium were not more than 5. And they actually let Winky D be taken by the police. Saka vamapfumo vakazombopuwawo audience vakabvunzwa kuti munozviona sei pakuti vanhu vanosvika 500 vakaregera mapurisa mashanu kana kuti mana vachitora our beloved musician. What do you think? Vamapfumo vakataura nyaya yekuti it's a sign of Zimbabweans cowardice. Why did they not confront the police? Why did they not retaliate? Why did they not actually prevent the police from actually taking the musician? So it was an issue. It was something debatable, and people ended up actually saying sometimes it is very difficult. Maybe the police actually deliberately did that in order to see what would happen, and if there was retaliation, then there was a likelihood of retribution from the police after the show. Actually, police officers going back to people's houses, indiscriminately attacking the people. So this is what also transpired on our last show. But we don't want to waste much of our time on dwelling on the issue of last week. We want to go straight away to today's topic. Before I go to say, Dr. Maifa, do you have got anything to say? And then we can now start our program.
All I can say is greet everyone, because maybe when I spoke, some had not joined. You are welcome to this space. It's a free space. Let's say our views in a bid to reform Zimbabwe or to develop our beloved country. So our rules generally are no toxicity. We are not telling each other names. We might differ in views. We might differ, in orientation, but we are all Zimbabweans who love Zimbabwe. So let's unite on this platform and seek ways to correct what is wrong. Thank you, host.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And now we would want to go to mongo wenyaya yatinayo nhasi kuti tiri kutaura nyaya iri pano yekuti kubva pamazuva mashoma kana kuti mwedzi mavhiki mashoma apera government yeZimbabwe yakanga ichiita program negotiation yemasalaries nevashandi vayo through the National Joint Negotiating Council. And during that, the negotiations that were taking place, the government actually offered the workers, I'm told 100%, which is translated to $50. Asi massive servants vanokwanisa kuva vanogamuchira mari iyoyo. Why? Because the massive servants vakataura nyaya yekuti isusu mari inotitira zvakanaka 840. That's the amount of money that they would need. But soon after the decline of the workers, government yakazopedzisira yakuenda behind the scenes ndobva yakunopa mapurisa nemasoja mari inoita 250,000 Zim dollars or RTG, that is in local currency. And then masoja akapuwawo 450,000 RTG iwayo. Pamusoro pazvo vanopuwa $250 US dollars. So this is what has just happened. Asi mamwe civil servants ese anokwanisa kuva vanopiwa imwe mari yakata saiyo. Saka when I was looking at this scenario, I said to myself, is it by coincidence that the police officers and the army, who are the backbone of the current regime, were given such a huge salary increase coincidentally towards this crucial election that we are going to be having in the next few months? or it is just an issue yekungoti vakangoona kuti mapurisa avo vakanga vasingawani mari yakakwana vakati ngativape. So this is the discussion that we would want to delve on. And also the issue that is at hand is madzishe edu vanonzi vakapiwa dzimotikari dzakanaka uye I think nyowani chedzo. Pamusoro pazvo ipapo they were also given thumbs up kuti vaenderere mberi vachiita campaigns for ZANU-PF. So these are some of the issues that we would want to talk about. But let's have Tsepo speak his mind about the topic that we have today. Go ahead, Tsepo.
All right. Thank you so much, Danford. It's my first time to be on your space, and it seems like it's a space of maturity. To express their views and build our country. Because I think if you go anywhere and everywhere, people generally have this desire of seeing Zimbabwe grow and become a prosperous nation. But the how part is always controversial due to our affiliations. But what I want to say is that since 1980, Zimbabwe has been holding elections every after 5 years. Secondly, what we have been seeing is a repetition, really. I don't think we must be surprised now that each time when we are towards our elections, security services have their salaries increased. Traditional leaders are given all forms of perks. Recently, it was not only cars, but they now have medical aid cover, Christmas. Some traditional leaders are even having their homesteads solar powered by the so-called Chinese in conjunction or collaboration with the government. So all this must not surprise. We are holding these spaces. But also to say, no matter what is done, no matter what they are given, whether they are given double-story houses, whether they are given private jets, people should not betray their cause. Their cause is to see a transformative Zimbabwe. So does this translate to a transformative Zimbabwe? And there is one thing that I thought we were going to talk about. ZANU-PF was supposed to hold these primary elections. If you were following on Twitter, some people that were technocrats want to be politicians. Some people that were musicians want to be politicians. It's not because 7 people is an easy job. It's the perks, the salaries, the allowances, be it a councillor, be it an MP, be it a minister, be it a deputy minister. Of late, we have realized that hanzi vanodya zvevapfupi nekureba. We are realizing that leaders are benefiting more than the ordinary citizens. Ministers get 500,000, Though it's not proven whether that's true, but so far that's what we got. They're getting about 500,000, deputy ministers 300,000, na MPs from both parties they're 40,000, which a retired person who has served the company for 25 years or 30 years does not get that amount of money. But because you're an MP, you get all those diplomatic passports, motor, and the Poland, motor. I don't know what's wrong with Zimbabwean cars. Machisa motor each and every year. Does this translate to a progressive nature within a country? Just 2 weeks to 3 weeks back, the president has forgotten who he had engaged to come and assist us with our debt situation. They talked about allowing freedom of expression. They talked about upholding human rights. They talked about learning to prioritize as a country if we are to tackle the debt issue. But we will continue to see kuti kuneka kusadzana kuriko. Does this translate to a progressive nature of a country?
So,
So don't
so
worry what that is.
yes,
People need
So
to know their cause and not betray it.
yes, just a moment. I just want to quickly pose a question to you that I expect you to answer in maybe 2 minutes, and then you remain on the podium. I would want to come back to you again. My question that I would want I want to refer to you is, when you see a situation in which the police and the army being rewarded at the expense of the entire civil service, is it because the regime is on a panic mode to an extent that they are they think once we are not going to offer them this amount of this salary increase, then there's a likelihood of what is going to be happening from the police and the army? And also, do you think the junior police officers and army officers have got a capacity, once if they are not being given what they want to have, do they have the capacity to say, no, we are not happy, then we are going to make sure that we are not going to protect you over this election? In 2 minutes time, but I'll come back to you afterwards.
All right, I'll keep it short. It's an issue of what I can call chirere chikukurerao. If you understand that. You scratch my back, I also scratch your back. But don't think those people are daft. They are not daft. No matter what is done, salary increases. They know that they spend about 4.5 years wallowing in poverty, crying for an increment, only for it to come 6 months before. Saka nguva yavanoti vanodyawo is between now and election time. Soon after, it's back to factory reset. So they know they are not stupid. We've been playing this script for a very long time, and they are going to do what they are supposed to do, is following their conscience and understanding the Zimbabwean context and the Zimbabwean situation.
Okay. Thank you very much, Atep. I would want you to stay there if you have got time. I've got some follow-up questions with you, but I want to quickly go to my co-host, Dr. Amaifa. Jeff, I'm sorry. I think you've realized I was in advocacy space, and me and you were having problems in getting the mics. So it's not that I know you are going to be supporting your president step that you did, that I'm deliberately not making you up. You know the problem that we are having. But Dr. Amaifa, can you go ahead and give someone who wants to speak now?
Thank you very much, Koma Denford. Thank you, everyone on the platform. My sister Tsepo, you nailed it all. And it's good to see fellow
I'm not
women.
female, I'm male. Sorry, I'm not female.
Oh, the voice. Sorry. I apologize. My apologies. No offense meant. So Anyway, thank you for the for your submission, and what you said is truthful. There's nothing wrong in giving people incentives, but priorities matter, and the timing matters too. In 2017, you are right. We saw the same thing happened just before the 2018 elections. People were given the military and the police were given a hike, and then chiefs were also given those incentives. So incentives should not come out as bribes and should not be, at the expense of the ordinary citizens. So we have to map a way forward. Let the military, the police, and the chiefs know that we are all citizens of Zimbabwe. You don't remain a chief for life. So at this moment, let me call my uncle, the Sabuku Dobbs, to give his submissions. Thank you, Uncle Dobbs.
Thanks a lot, everybody. Tinotenda vese vari pasi. Thanks a lot, Mukoma for the final. Ndezvekutove nethick skin because kana kuma-DM tiri kunzwa, kana background pacho tiri kunzwa. We know ZANU-PF inokucreatera kana mhosva chaiyo chaiyo yokuti unotadza kurara. Yakuti ndozvawakaita izvi neumbowo hwese. Unotozvishayiwa kuti uri kubva nekupi, saka ndezvekutoshinga, but unotongoona futi kuti hazviperi ukaita sei. Then going to the actual topic, ndinobvuma hapana chakaipa, but the vacho vapiwa they are not even happy even though, because vari kutaura they are just pinpointing the actual problem to say no, the biggest problem is everything is monetized now. We have to pay for everything, whatever. I was talking with the members of the police. They said that Camp Hospital is no longer working where they used to go and get free treatment. They said there's nothing as well. So they have to buy each and everything. And they said there's a lot of corruption. Their chiefs, the police bosses have become all that corrupt. Even the military wings like the support unit and the police protection unit, they say even to get you, for you to get a leave, you have to pay.
Mambo Drops, would you mind to just see up your voice a bit? I'm sure a number of people might not be hearing you, including me.
So sorry. Compromised gadgets these days or not working, I'm not even failing to understand. At times I don't even manage to go to a space. I understand. What I was saying is to say everybody, I agree to say even those ones in the force, they agree to say it's better than nothing, but they are not happy to at the moment. This time, the moment they receive it, they are not happy. What they are not happy is the system of government, where money is now being paid upfront for everything, and the corruption within every system. They are even complaining to say even their bosses in police and army, they have to bribe them even to go for time offs, even to do anything. They are saying even those their medical facilities like police camp hospitals or army, they said there's nothing there. They have to buy anything, and at times we have also to do a bit of a bribe for anybody who work in the medical fraternity within that camp to treat you. So they said it's not worth it because it will just go the way, disappear and so forth. And they've already overborrowed because they can't do without borrowing, and they don't understand what they are working for. And the issue of pensions again, they said they've affected their morale because they know that even if they retire, when they go for retirement, they're going with nothing. Then going to the chiefs, it's a rigging strategy. Don't waste the time. It's just a rigging. This time is even more than what people think to say. They will just say, flog much people to go and vote. No, it's not that way. It's a different one. We can't say it on a Twitter space. But the fact is that we know it, we'll then share it. Maybe in DMs, WhatsApp, and so forth. And then counter it, and it's easy to counter all their reading strategies. We know they have lots of reading strategies which they are putting on the table. This one is not a benefit. It's just a rigid strategy. But this government is very decisive because you can see how they selected to say on the civil servants, it's only the police and the army. But they understand one thing to say the morale if God, those people no longer have morale. They are only forced to do work because of the code of conduct which they signed into when they are attested into those forces. So we have to understand how they are trying to just hold on to power. But yeah, it's just temporary. I don't think giving them incentive will convince those ones in the military to say we have a right government. Probably the way where they make where they maybe the issue where they used to do where they would ask them to vote in front of their bosses, maybe that one will work, but incentive are not going to work. I think that is what I can take it. Let me just vote for now.
Yeah. Before you go, Mkomadopsi, I think I've got a question. Yeah. If you listened to what Tsep has been saying, he actually said that it should not come as a surprise kuti masoja nemapurisa vazopiwa mari, especially at this juncture. Everybody or almost everybody should really know that the reason why the police the government is decided that it's because they know what the police and the army can do for their hold to power. Now, that being a trend, pane here zvinokwanisa kuitwa ne-opposition, because the trend that the government has been doing has actually been so successful to an extent that they are still in power now, not because of the people that voted for them, but it is because the army and the police have made them to stay in power. So having realized that the opposition, can they also either reciprocate or find a way in which they can counter what the regime has just done? Because I would want to believe if it stays like that, then there's a likelihood that ED is going to just sail through. I'm not too sure your comment about that.
I think for them to just follow what they have done to the military, to the army, and the police, that one is just a mere side show. It doesn't affect anything because those people, it's very difficult now for ZANU-PF to convince them to say they are the rightful government and they care for them, because they've already shown that they don't care anyhow. And what they are just doing is just cosmetic. It's not a change really, because they know with inflation and with time moving and after election, what everybody knows is after election, those ones won't enjoy anything. So they really understand where they are going. They've been taught by experience. Probably on the issue of the chiefs, they needed to do a lot of counters because that is where what the military was complaining about is what exactly those people in the villages are complaining about, the system of government being cultural or whatever. Because at times people they can ask you to say, then you ask us to pay when we are just presenting our cases to the chief's court. Is that the tradition if we are saying we are custodians of our cultures? Do people in the before used to pay anything to the chief if they are going to present their case? Then you will find it to say no, they did not. But now it even costs that village in the village, that poor village in the village. At times they are asked to pay as much as 30 USA to just present a case to say I've got a trouble, which is A, B, C, and D. And they understand to say it's not our culture, it's a borrowed culture, and they don't want that because they don't have that the finance to do that. And there are other issues like even for a teacher in the village, for your school, primary school children, a child in a village, for him to write a test and to have that test marked is now paying extra on top, like $1 per subject, $1 for every subject, and about 2 to 5 on secondary. So they don't want it that people, they don't want those issues, they are affecting them, or they are demoralizing them, that demoralizing their children. Because if they don't have that money, the books for the test won't get marked and so forth. So all those issues, if they could counter them to say, oh, on those issues, like the courts to go to the chiefs, they must be free, because that is the tradition. We used to have that tradition before to say, kumuzinda hakuna weko. Whether you are rich or poor, you could just go to chief's court to say, I would. My problem is ABC, and the chief would consider how best to solve it or refer it without requiring your payment. So that is the problem, which is just and where the issue aside with the Chinese or whatever, those are the issues where probably the opposition have to come out to say, no, we can't side with the Chinese. We can't continue giving the mining concession and giving our traditional land to mine without benefiting the community. Because in most cases, the chief are getting bribed. We have to be honest. We know that to say they side with those miners because they get a kickback. That is what I can say was the cause. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you, Uncle Dobbs, for such a submission, and you are talking from real life experience, because you are a traditional leader. You really understand what's going on behind the scenes there, and I just wish we had 2 or 3 chief Ndiwenis there who really understand their mandate as chiefs and their roles, and who would stand up for the citizens and do the right thing. So I think we need a lot of awareness amongst our traditional leaders to know what is right and what is wrong. And I don't know, host, I had seen Koma Finals on the speaker there. Now he dropped. So I'm not too sure if we are having problems accepting speakers, or back to you, host.
Yes, I think I've gotten Mkoma Dobbs, would you mute your mic, please?
It's muted on my. I think there's a lot of problems. It's muted.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. So we are having so much of problems. I've got so much of queues of people who would want to make their contributions, but Kuma Finals, we don't have problems with him. Maybe he's busy at work or something, but I've got a number of people that requested, and once I approve them, they just drop down. Once I approve them, they drop down. Some people say it's just a technical glitch from Twitter, which is going to be sorted out in the near future. I don't know. But Mkoma Finals, if you are not busy, just come up and speak up your mind, and we will be able to hear from you. But we can still continue with our deliberations until we have. Let me try Sister Victoria here, if she can also come up. Yes. Yes, luckily we have got here. And I was going to be now she came down. I was going to be talking about the issue of this thing that has just come out when the police and the army have been given such amount of money, and when I was speaking to it's from the trade unions. The civil service into is not taking the needs and the requirements of
what is going to happen since the civil servants are decided, those who are happy. When you say those who are happy, automatically I'm just wondering, are they happy because they have received a salary increment? Where I am, as we speak, the rate is at 1.1, 1.2. In some areas, the black market is now, 1.5. It's increasing day by day. So that's 450. In 2 years' time, it would have lost its value. So it's like going round and round in circles. Or a situation where you are in a marathon, yet you are in your own house. You run, you hit a wall, you bounce back, you hit another wall. Eventually, you realize that we are not getting anywhere. Insurance, kwatiri kuenda ndokwatakaabva. Saka uri kutoenda kupi kana kuri kuti kwauri kuenda ndokwaakabva. You understand? It's just going back and forth. Or will be expressed in the in the special ballot provision. Because, as I said, they are not daft. Speaker is in the security sector. Said, you know that now police officers, at the time it was 2021, police officers are getting $30 US as building allowance. Don't get this allowance if they are stationed in places like Karita, Bedford, where there is a subsidy. They are not getting all that. So it's just, it's not an issue of the pay rise. You understand? It's also having the right allowances attached to that pay rise and also understanding what usually happens before election season. They love you, they cry for a pay rise, and they don't get it. So they are not willing to subject themselves to such a condition for the next 5 years.
Sepo, sorry to interject you. I just wanted to make a clarification on my question, and also to make an addition on what I just said. And it's very clear, and this analysis that you are giving, it's coming from a well-informed person, and it's coming from somebody who is seeing from outside, you see. Remember what we are talking about here. It's a situation in which ED and his people, they realize that we are only left with about 6 or so months, if not 5 months, toward an election. And they know that there has been a negotiation that the salary negotiations that have been taking place between the civil service and the Public Service Commission. And now, and I'm also speaking this from experience. I've also been in such a situation where towards an election and the government actually comes to say and that psychological boost, I'm not pure, especially considering good, because there is this thing my teacher, nema purisa, my teacher and once you're told that you are a bit ahead of the teachers, while you get a bit superior than those people who went for about 4 or 5 years to train for that profession. Those are professional people, you see. So this is the context from which I am saying, not necessarily saying that Maria Yakawanda. And I'm telling you, if you go to the police today or you go to the barracks of the soldiers today, I would want to believe that a sizable percentage of those personnel are somehow happy about what this is my assertion. But thank you very much. You can go ahead.
I do concur with you on almost everything that you said, but I would not say they are happy. They are somewhat relieved. It's a relief, no matter how small the increase is. It's a relief because to some extent you'll be able to cover some of the expenses that you incur. But as I highlighted, reality will continue to happen when we continue to amplify our voices. Enough of them realize that izinomusalala ezathoma ukuthi nayaradzalana edani, if a child is crying too much, you are busy, you want to do something, no done. But done does not mean that if the child is sucking that done, automatically under. So we have to continue to amplify our voices in that aspect. And the economy on its own has its way of knocking sense into people's minds. As I told you, the inflation rate is skyrocketing at a very alarming pace. Of course, when they introduced gold coins, to some extent, but of late, it's really skyrocketing, and it's a cause for concern. So, isn't it a relief? Isn't it they are happy? The economy will knock sense into their minds, but no, but it's getting better. And of course, I do agree with you when you say that it's painful for teachers, and because they are professionals. vamwe ava vakapinda nekumhanya. Of course, even within the army, there are professionals, even vakapinda nekumhanya, they managed to upgrade themselves. But many of them are not grade 7. So height was an advantage. But teachers need to understand that there is power in numbers. If we understand that the Ministry of Education is the largest employer, or can I say, if you are to compare all sectors within the civil servants, those who are in the education sector are far much more than those who are in any other sector. So that also should be an advantage to them. To say if we can't convince our fellow civil servants, we can join forces, us as teachers, together with nurses. We make it a point that we go and cast our vote at all costs. So that their voice will be expressed in the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mkoma Tseko, for that analysis and submission. I think the problem in Zimbabwe is that there is no unity. The civil servants are not united. I was once a civil servant in Zimbabwe, and exactly what Tseko and Mkoma Denford mentioned, the maticha aitozviona shuga nebhata vakutoseka mapurisa namasoja kuti hamuna njere makazopinda basa nekumhanya, instead of them being united as citizens of Zimbabwe, as civil servants. If these groups were united, then we would not be having one group favored or at an advantage. You see what happened in Zambia when the elections took place. The military were with the citizens, were protecting the citizens. But now it becomes difficult, and since the Smith regime, it has been placed in citizens' head kuti musoldier munhu anofana kutyiwa, either munhu anogona kukuuraya, anogona kana kukubhinya, anogona kungoita zvinhu zvakaipa. So that mentality has to be cleared. It has to be cleared. Kungoti tuone kuti musoldier munhu just like you, mpurisa munhu just like you. You know, like in the diaspora here, munhu angava madhodha pini, they are well respected. Angava security guard, they are well respected. Munhu azoti inini I'm a professor, I'm better off. No, they mind their own business. You respect a person for just being an individual. So I think we have to kind of work towards people respecting each other as individuals rather than because of their profession. Kungova neunhu wokuziva kuti uyu munhu I cannot hit him, uyu munhu I cannot do bad things to them. Right. Thank you very much. If there's no new speaker, I'll give this time back to Dobbs. But if Mambo Sose and Max and people who have my number, if you really want to speak and you are failing to get to the speakers because of the technical glitch, you could call my cell phone and I'll put you through to Twitter. Thank you. Over to you, host. Sorry, over to you, Uncle Dobbs.
Many thanks to Dr. Maifa, Mkoma Tseko, and the Mkoma Denford. Hopefully, Mkoma finals will come back and advocate here because we wanted to chat with him, but couldn't go get to the mic at this space. And I welcome him on behalf of the host and co-host. The issue which we are discussing about them being happy, I don't think that it is anybody who is happy. I think those ones who have been the directors, those ones who have got about 600,000 or so forth. Yeah, those ones, we know that they are yet because they've got a huge lump sum about not the ordinary man who is just getting a percentage increase in our SIM dollar or bond note, which we know that it just evaporate, lose value before you even use it or before you even get it, especially this one, which is not really backdated. So there's a problem here to say, even the that issue I was talking about, to say everything's monetized. We know that those soldiers we have to do, they now have separate budget to say that if they go to their barracks, they are buying their own food because there's no food and nobody can survive without eating. So I don't think the money is enough to convince them to say the future is changing, everything will be okay in the future. But the issue of dividing the people, that is how Zanu survived. They divide on those who decide to find something to maybe profession, maybe try being or whatever, they can manipulate you and divide you. And it used to work with the people, but this time people are just getting used to each other because of meeting at different places and at different times, and you find out people that you need to create each other because of tribe or whatever, but it's something which is not choose. It is something which just become the same. We can't all come from the same place or the same tribe or whatever. We do understand it. So that issue will be useful. I'm really convinced at the moment to say yes, the chiefs are not, they will try by all means to cooperate in the regional mechanism, but the army, the bosses, those who get a lot, lump sum in the United States dollars, not the ordinary. Those lower ranks which are just getting a little involved, because what their problems are beyond the salary itself. It goes even to the position of service. Say the housing is not there, and that housing allowance which they get, it doesn't cater for the cost of living and transport. It's not there. They are now using Mishika as well. So they have a lot of problems. Even their health care, even to cater for their children's education is difficult. Because there's lots of issues which need to be addressed. Because we all understand it, because when the government say they are going to partially pay for their education, they give them in points not again. But even if you convert it today, to say how much are they contributing to the term, they have lost the value to pay fee. More or less, it's nothing. So that is where the problem is now, to say the salary issue convinces the people better. Maybe they keep seeing other people because those ones, some of those ones are even worse off than that soldier we have getting paid by running, because we get our position simple because the family listing only that is what made us most. Because some of them they don't even understand it, that they the people ready to implement the good cultural practices. They also give the time for them to engage themselves, because they know that it won't be in their family. It will be won't be in the family lineage to say it, because it is strictly passed to your son or grandson. It can go to your brother's son or grandson. Probably they want to build that issues with the wealth of future generation, like what the Zanu chiefs do. So that is what we have to understand. We need to just hear and they wanted us to hear. Thanks a lot. It actually was the call the greetings to my.
Okay, thank you very much, Mukuma Jobs. I think next time I will continue to remind you that in as much as technology is not on our side, but we really appreciate your submission. We are in a position here, as well to take analysis, and this is what is happening onto the ground. But before I go to Mambo Social, I think I've got one thing that I've observed, especially to do with Ema incentives, Ema Police and Ema Soldier, in particular Ema Police. But remember, Ema Police, they also participate this electoral process, they are the ones who will be offering security, presiding officers, the ballot boxes, ballot papers, and everything. The process actually is so we have had, I remember in 2018, we had situations where the opposition could not field could not put my agents on all the polling stations, and this resulted in the compromise of the outcome election. So the relief the police and the soldiers are given such a relief. It is likely going to be compromising the performance in as far as making sure that my irregularities and they can also the wisdom. We are also the status quo. And also this issue while talking about the issue here, agents, we in 2008 where my opposite agents were actually physically assaulted by the militia from the ruling party, and the police could not also do anything. This is also likely going to happen once the police and the army are in the pockets of the regime, where they will just use the militia to establish during the polling process. Some of the irregularities can be compromised by the police because they just have been relieved. To the show, and what is your take on what has just happened in this period as far as the police, the army, and the chiefs is concerned? Go ahead.
Thank you, Champion Telford. Thank you, Dr. Amai, for opening this space. We appreciate you. We appreciate the role that you play. If there was a way of getting more people to do what you're doing, so that we have more spaces, we have a space every day that is talking about our agenda, that is talking to our people and everyone else. So I feel encouraged to go ahead and open spaces like this so that you can continue to give information. Thank you everyone who is here. You're actually playing a part just by being here, listening and participating in these programs. What we can only say, what we continue to say is, when you have heard, when you've gotten information from here, please spread information, take it to other people, take it to your families. If it is about voter education, voter registration, please talk to your families, talk to your colleagues, your people, Mamisha, Zeva, that's the essence of having these spaces to give information. But when we get the information, let's also further disseminate it. Going to the topic of the day, I always want, when I'm speaking, to address the neutrals. Those that come here every space, we always work on program that we have. My experience has taught me that there always one neutral that those people lack information. I mean, I'm talking about the real neutrals. They are neutrals, so-called neutrals that have pretend to be neutrals, but we know where they are. They're very dangerous. Those ones are very dangerous. They come here and pretend to be with us and pretend not to be supporting anyone, and then they start whispering in our ears, and it confuses everyone. It confuses the real neutrals that we are talking about. Those are just for defense, and those people need information. So those are the ones that I'm going to talk to. And I talk about politics. No amount of propaganda from ZANU-PF will shift you from where you are. You know where you are, and you know what you're going to do. But the neutrals, we need to invest time in them talk to them and give them the proper information, the correct information, so that they are not corrupted by the other type of neutrals. So I always say, we had that common saying when we had that coup, no coup, that when it feels like a coup, when it smells like a coup, it is a coup. When this topic that we're talking about, when it feels like it's a bribe, then it is a bribe. When it feels like it's ZANU-PF manipulating security forces, manipulating civil servants, then it is indeed a bribe. And to me, it feels like a bribe. So what do we do? Can we stop the security forces? Can we stop the army? Can we stop the chiefs from accepting these trinkets? Obviously not. We have to stop our very own members of parliament from accepting trinkets from the government. How can we even think of stopping the security forces? But can we do something about it? Yes, we can do something about it. The best way is what you guys are doing here. That's why I emphasize the opening of more spaces. Our war today is on information. It's a war of information. You give information, you educate people, you do voter education, you educate the citizens, and the education is two-way. You need to reach out, you need to find a way of getting through to the security, to the army, to the police. They need to understand that they're part of the people, they're part of us, and they're suffering just like us. They will end up in the queue to get money from the bank. When prices go up, they go up for everyone. There are no special shops for the police, no special shops for the army. They still are suffering just as much as us. So we have to find a way of reaching out to them and getting them to be on board and understand that they need to stand with the people and they need always to be on the side of the people, not on the side of the persecutors. And then the other side of the education is go to the people, the recipients. Let's go out there, let's educate the people, let's tell them that what you are seeing right now, if you see your chief receiving a car, if you see the army officers running around with state-of-the-art vehicles having been given by the government, it's not that Amazon Mnangagwa loves them, it's not that the government loves them. They are getting those vehicles, they're getting those handouts so that they can influence you and coerce you to vote for ZANU-PF. Whether they're going to do it violently or they're just going to come and talk to you, they're going to use every means possible. The chiefs are going to line you up and tell you to tell the person who is in the booth that you can't write when you can write, that you are illiterate when you are literate. Let's tell them that this is the point. This is what they're trying to do to you. We need to educate the masses. We need to tell the people that these people are just being used to come to you and use you too. So there has to be that amount of education, and it comes from all of us. This voter education is supposed to be done by ZEC, it's supposed to be done by the government. Even ZEC, by its own admission, if you go on their website, they are supposed to be doing voter education. They receive a budget, they have a budget for voter education, but they never do voter education. When last did you see an advert by ZEC telling people to go and register to vote, or just educating them about their rights to vote, the importance of voting? They don't do that because obviously they know that it's counterproductive to them. So it becomes our responsibility. It becomes your responsibility to teach the people, to give information to the people. We have to do our own voter education. Just like we are doing now, that we're encouraging our own people to go and register to vote. And those here in the diaspora, we're saying, 1 + 5, you have 1, 2 to 5 people today in your rural area, 2 to 5 people in your your homestead, your family, so that they go and register to vote. That's exactly what we also need to do about what ZANU-PF is doing, the strategies that they have, the propaganda that they have, everything that they're throwing at us, including giving trinkets to security forces. We need to counter that. We need to be speaking about it at every platform, whether it's on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, But of course, for us to be effective, for us to be able to educate people well, we need to have the information, and that's why it's critical to have these discussions. And that's why we should be thankful that we have people like great communicators like Advocate Mahere, Champion of Talos, people that are giving us information every day. And I always tell people, even here in North America, that let's follow Advocate Mahere, let's follow Champion of Talos, let's follow our president. But especially those two, they will always be talking on behalf of the party. So when you follow them, when you read what they are saying, when you read their tweets, you're getting the party position. You understand what the party wants you to say when you're arguing on Twitter Spaces, when you're fighting with people on WhatsApp. I know that goes on a lot. I used to do that, fighting on social media, fighting with people, talking to people, trying to educate the people, trying to convince people. For you to be an effective communicator, or for you to effectively be able to do that, follow our party leaders so that you get the correct information. Even myself, where I am right now, I'm always on platforms. I'm always on Facebook. I go to VOA, get called to VOA 2-3 times a week. I do not just go there. I make sure that sometimes I even make a phone call, to any of the leaders. What are we saying on this issue? Or I'm always checking what Champion Mahere is doing. He's posting Champion of Carlos. And then even when I go to VOA or on Facebook, I'm speaking alongside what the party is saying. So it's important, folks, to get information, because the war that we are fighting right now is a war of information. Not only here in the diaspora, not only here on social media. The whole struggle is based on how we are giving information, and we are doing that very well through those leaders that I've spoken about. It's based on how we are managing the information that we have. And it's also based on how we are countering the information that we are getting from ZANU-PF, the propaganda that is being propagated by the likes of Mbana and all the ZANU-PF people that are all over. They are here, even here when we're speaking, they are there on Twitter Spaces, on Facebook, they are there. We can't argue about that. Emerson Mnangagwa said it himself, and I know about social media, and they're being paid. You guys, you are here, nobody's paying you, you just are here for the good of the country, But there are people that are paid out there to counter what we are doing, to give wrong information, to give propaganda to people. So we need to find a way of countering that propaganda. And you can only do that by giving the correct information to the people, educating the people, making sure that people know that this is wrong, this is right. I think if you're seeing the video that is going on for that young man who was in Buhera, who was telling the people, that you should not be tricked by a cup of 2 cups of matemba or 2 cups of beans. That's the kind of information that we want to see trickling down Kumaruzeva. And I'm so excited because it's happening in Ikoku. But we also need to do it even at our level, because you'll be shocked that even here, there are people that don't understand what's going on in Zimbabwe. There are people that are here that don't understand, what exactly is the reason why Zimbabwe is on its knees. They swallow ZANU-PF propaganda who climb the finger. They even think that there's something called sanctions. They believe that. I'm saying that, from the point of information and correct information. I have my son here. He's an engineer. He has 2 degrees, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree. But at one time, he comes to me and said, "Como fila que não sendo muito como space, muito uma meeting, muito pai, muito fila que acabou ir." And that's coming from Manawati. And I'll be like, seriously? You know, we took this all. There is a lot of deficiency of information. A lot of people in the diaspora do not know what's going on in Zimbabwe, what's causing Zimbabwe. And you have we need to keep giving people information. We need to find a way of making sure that people are educated home and away. And that's why, again, as we finish, I will continue to thank those that are doing spaces, those that are on Facebook, those that are on Instagram, and our food soldiers, of course, that are doing a lot of work on the ground. There's a lot that is going on. Do not be deceived by what you see, by what you hear from ZANU-PF, that they still have control and the control of the rural areas. They don't. And there has been a lot of penetration in the rural areas. People see is there, is everywhere. I know some people would think, I think that there is a lot of work being done. All the former national executive members are in the rural areas. They are camped in the rural areas. They are doing a lot of work. And we should marvel, we should be thankful of the sacrifice that they are making. They are there using their own cars. Look at those roads. Someone is using his own car. They are there using their own fuel because our parties, we don't have money, we don't have resources. People are sacrificing their own resources to do all those. Today was in Masvingo. People that are driving with him, people that are there, they're doing it using their own resources. Even the people that are those rallies, they are using their own resources. I know we do a lot to support the Women Task Force. Thank you, those that are doing that. We support the Youth Task Force, but that budget, the budget that is satisfied, is only a quarter of what is needed to run a proper election campaign. Where we are using $6,000, ZANU-PF for the same things will be using $6 million. That's the disproportionate. That's exactly what is happening. So it just speaks to the levels of sacrifices that are going on. So let's keep doing what we are doing. Let's keep supporting the movement. Let's keep supporting the youth, the women, the fundraisers that are going on. Let's support all of them. All the small things or seemingly small things that we see, that we are doing in this space, they're all going to come together, and we're all going to, be saying, and if everybody come together, and we'll be in a new great Zimbabwe. Thank you, Nkoma Jacob. Thank you, Dr. Amai. Keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, Mambo Sose, for your great submission. And like you said, giving out information to people is important. Some here in the diaspora are not even aware about these incentives, and we're still some who are in Zimbabwe So let's disseminate the information so that people understand the bribes that are happening. And I'm glad you mentioned that MPs received $40,000, including our own. So a lot of people are just being bribed in general. Let's send out that information starting from our own families. And I've laughed about my own son with Chief Joseph. Moms, mathanda dzenyuka namangotosha manje muswere wese munongoita mameeting finish. So, let's conscientize our own children, our own family members, and if everybody has the correct information, then we'll be fine. Before Tsepos asks his question or gives his contribution, I'll gladly give back this time to the host. Over to you, host.
Thank you very much, Dr. Amafa, and as well to members of the it's something that a lot of us here would want to do. To say it has to start from within the family. Kana mwana wenyu womukomana kana mwana wenyu musikana wamunoti mimi ndiye anofana kuva ari anoona zvandinoita agonotaridzawo vamwe kunzoko achikubvunza mibvunzo yenyu. Meaning to say we have got so much that we need to do in order for the rest of the society to really change their mindsets. Because that is the reason why we have a situation where the youngsters are actually saying they won't be able to go and do a registration that is currently taking place because you see the number of people on the ground, some of them would not even want to bother going to do the registration that is taking place unless and until if somebody is incentivized. But you see, this is an extra mile that we are actually doing to say, for you to go and register, we are going to be giving you this. Citizens should really have it in themselves to say, what is happening in Zimbabwe? It's something that is not supposed to remain until forever. We are not doing it for ourselves. We are not doing it for maybe the young children. Maybe we're actually doing for the people who are yet to be born. Why? Because the rest of us are almost spent forces because of the regime. So thank you very much, Mambosozo. And it's very imperative that everybody of us should really know that it's achievable, it's doable. We can do away with this regime that has cost our lives. But before I go to Tsepo again, I just wanted to acknowledge the presence of one of our champions who has not been with us for quite a long period of time. If you do not mind, you can just ask for the mic. I can give you It has been very long, and maybe but this is my first time to see you now. You can give the mic just to give us what you think about what is happening, and we are so happy. I'm personally happy to see you back and continue with the struggle. But thank you very much. Tsepo, go ahead with your question and the rest of the submission.
All right, thank you. I have more of a comment. I am in agreement with the previous speaker, Mambososo. Yes, you shared some powerful nuggets. The divide and conquer rule will not work, and we must not allow it to work. So even as we say our submissions, it must not seem like members of the security sector are at fault because they received an increase in salaries. So I remember that earlier on Denford, we were talking about the scenario where teachers tend to look down on members of the security sector to say, after all, they are not professionals, you came through the back door, or you had an easy way out. All that should not be embraced, nor should it be tolerated, nor should it be advanced, because you'll be falling right to the trap of the enemy. So there is need to continue to draw members of the security force closer, continue to engage with them, continue to reason with them, continue to find out from them what they are thinking, what the narrative is, how are they seeing things, for how long will they continue to be used, you know, used like for a lack of a better word, condom. You use it, when you finish using it, you throw it away. Use a bandage to cover your wound. Once your wound is healed, you throw it away. They deserve better. If you tell somebody that you deserve better than what you are getting, they will continue to yearn for more. They will begin to value themselves. Because it's a matter of valuing yourself first without waiting to be valued by somebody else. So that's what I thought to say the approach should be an approach where there is engagement, not an approach where you are at loggerheads or you start blaming them or you start telling them that you are openly used. That will not work. It will bring about a, a stronger feeling of resistance from the security sector. So engage them, talk to them, find out if they are seeing the bigger picture. If they are not, because some can be easily lured, some can be easily swayed away. Speak to them in a season and comment. For the traditional leaders, speak to communities. Communities have the power to decide the demands of their traditional leaders. Tell them that if they self-merge you to the polling station, don't resist. But when you're inside that group, know what to do and do the right thing, not only for yourself, but even for future generations. Use basic and practical examples. Don't go very far when you are engaging the community. Let them look at the traditional leader's home state. It is solar panels, it is well built, there is this and that. Then let them relate to their real life scenario. Let them relate to the life that they are subjected to each and every day. When you are able to do that, they will never betray from their cause. So don't spend too much time focusing on the fact that they have received cars. Let them receive as many cars. But let's not be relentless. Let's not back down. Let's make people realize the truth and see things for what they are. Thank you.
But sorry, Tsepo, I think I need to come back to you and say, and I'm going to delve my comment on what you previously said.
into rural areas, that whenever there is chance to do so, let there be face-to-face engagement, that let's utilize social media, in particular WhatsApp. Twitter is more elitist, if I may put it that way. But WhatsApp is not elitist. In 2017, about 5.2 million. If you Google and search for statistics, you'll find them. 5.2 million were on WhatsApp. Can you imagine how many people are on WhatsApp now? Yes, network is a challenge, but once a message has been sent, it's sent. It doesn't matter when the recipient is going to receive it. That whenever there is access to network, they are going to receive it. Engage them, speak to them. There is need to learn the art of public speaking, the art of speaking into the hearts of masses. When you use that, people are not daft. That's what I continue to say. They are not daft. They will receive the message. Engage with them. Talk to them. Use whichever opportunity is there to talk to them. I had gone earlier on to monitor the voter registration process this afternoon in my neighborhood. And it's easy to capture information using your mobile phone systematically and strategically. Just do your thing steadily. Know what you want to achieve. So it's we're even having conversations with the people there, though in a systematic way and manner to speak to them, just to find out how they're viewing the environment. There is no need really to influence people on the decision they should make. The situation on its own is influential enough. What is needed is just a small push. Don't tell them what to do, but reason with them and leave them with more questions than answers. And those answers, they are going to answer the questions on their own, facing the reality, seeing things as they are. So the other problem that has been talked about is that at times I feel we overly magnify issues. Where there are problems, let's see a solution. That's why I realize that from the onset of this space, I haven't really been focused on the fact that chiefs got cars, security forces had their salaries increased. It has been done. It was done previously. And so on information, let me correct something. The institution of traditional leaders has been used since colonial times. It's not that they have been used now after independence. They are used since colonial times. No wonder they are used to declare the unilateral declaration of independence.
Excuse me, Tepo, once again. Sorry, I would. The reason why I'm just interjecting is not because I'm not respecting you. It's because I might not have enough time or forget about what I would want to say.
Yes,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think I would want to a bit differ with you on the issue of precedence. To say this issue, the use of chiefs as an instrument for the electoral outcome has been used even before independence. And I'm not too sure if you actually referencing to say, so it shouldn't be an anomaly to what is happening now, because right now we have got a constitution that provides that actually provides that these chiefs are supposed to be political. And this is not only the provision within the constitution that is being violated by the regime. So much of it, even the electoral act, I always say about that. So once we start to say this thing, like what we were talking about last week when we were saying the issue of the artists that we have being abused by the regime, it is exactly what Ian Smith was doing during the colonial era, and this has to actually be normalized. I'm not too sure. So we are working on the constitution that came about in 2013. We are working with the electoral act that actually provides for what has to be done by who, and when we've got all those provisions, then definitely we need to be speaking out about such errant actions from the government, and even, well, in as much as you are saying we don't have to fight with the police because they are only recipients of these increments, but really the regime itself is working against the will of the people and also the constitution. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. So I was rising to a point to say traditional leaders have been used since colonial times. When there was the unilateral declaration of independence, traditional leaders were robbed, thin, or were lured to support that those who were engineering the struggle for independence were not moved by that. They knew what they wanted, and they were determined, and they were focused on getting what they wanted. They didn't want anything less than that which they were targeting. So even after this declaration, which was false, which was a fallacy, there was a cosmetic window dressing to it through the use of traditional leaders. It never worked. So why should it work now? So what we are seeing is history repeating itself in a bad way. But let's also see history repeating itself in a good way, where despite all the shenanigans, where despite all the efforts that are put in place, people know what they want and they continue to forge ahead. Because if you start now trying to say the Constitution says this, that this is happening, who is going to correct that? When those who are mandated to do the right thing do not want to do the right thing. So it's as good as we are at factory reset. We are going to reset everything, put proper systems in place, or ensure that the systems that are in place are activated and they're going to work accordingly. When there are the right people in the right positions with the right mindset. Currently, we don't have that. We have a leadership that will at all costs advance its agenda. So why not the people also advance their agenda using whatever means possible to spread the right message, to speak to the hearts of the people, to make them realize and reason factoring what is on the ground. That's what I'm simply saying. So it's an issue of prioritizing. To say yes, we are in a battle. How best can we win this battle? Can we win it by trying to convince traditional leaders? How are you going to convince them when you don't have the cars? The other party has cars, so they're already convinced. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tsepo, for your submission. I remember when I was young, there was a Chief Chirau. I didn't quite understand politics, but it was the time of Smith, and people were going to Chief Chirau anotoshandiswa varungu against the citizens and the black people. So as traditional leaders, I think tinofanira kutaura navo or kutuma information like Chief said, which makes them be on our side as well as the police. Zvakafanana the TikTok videos that we watch every day on WhatsApp or wherever, or the videos that our children can make, you know, and circulate them through WhatsApp to just like encourage the military that we are together, encourage even the police that we are all citizens, a positive message instead of attacking them. Maybe it can motivate them to be on our side. I also wanted to ask Comrade Denford, who has experience, to say those police, I would rather say those people that we see putting on police uniforms, but no ma polling station nechi mapurisa chaiwo or militia yangopiwa uniform, because we have seen some people, you know, behaving in such a way of not such a kind of training. I would not expect them to really do that. Back to you, host.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I think one thing that people have to know is the capacity of the police in Zimbabwe, the regular police officers in Zimbabwe, is so low that they won't be able to adequately provide the personnel all over the polling stations that we have. So what they do is they bring in what they call the special constabulary. Sometimes on my reserves or something. Those people who were just trained who come into the police station and be trained by the community relations liaison officer to do mabasa. Sometimes if you go to the police station, there are those people who are not trained by most depots, but they just help the police. But sometimes we can also have some errant police officers who were really trained, but they've got this mind, yes, I'm a police, I've got to do. Remember this video that came from Harare Magistrates Court when Beatrice Mjekwa wanted to access the court and these police officers are preventing her from coming in. There were no special constabulary officers there. Those guys, and that was an assistant inspector who actually had to deprive a lawyer from getting into the court, but she stood her ground. So some of these things that you see happening, yes, they do happen, especially at the polling stations. It could be as a result of those who would have been integrated only for that particular moment. Capacity and then they bring in those people. But at the same time, when they are doing that, they will be in charge, who will be there, and they got to follow instruction. So we want to have a situation in which someone will say, oh, these things happened because there was a special constabulary. No, they were under the command of somebody who is trained, who is a regular police officer. We can't have an excuse yekuti panapa zona an agent arohwa kana kuti aitwa zvakati nenyaya yekuti papasina mupurisa ari trained. I would not believe that can be condoned. So Dr. Maifa, I think if we are not going, like I said, Yankoma Dobbs will come in. I want to at this particular moment say we have heard so much of people who would have wanted to speak. Unfortunately, because of what has been happening as far as the Magnetics internet, we couldn't. I would want to. I wouldn't give the names, but a number of people wanted to speak. I would also urge people who have got their concerns or who would have wanted to contribute to just put that in the comment section. Then I will read that through before we end our space. That will help. But thank you very much. Comrade Dobbs, you can go ahead. We are almost getting to the end of our show.
Yeah, I wanted to answer the question before to say not everybody who appear wearing police uniform during elections or police office. And the ZANU-PF understated that people know. That is why they are not willing to remove all the COVID restriction because of the use of face mask and the other issues which makes us not really identify who is who. That is where the importance of electoral agents and the issue of defending the vote comes into, to say we don't have to depend with anybody else beside ourselves, our own communities. Because once we depend with anybody to say you will do as a favor, we then get it very easy. We remember our change champion is telling us to say we are preparing to win the elections. And the good thing about it, we are winning the election for Zimbabwe, not for a party like what it is now. To say where there's one rules for one party, one benefit for one party, and the rest of the Zimbabwe suffer. There are a lot of issues. It has now become clear to say even those ones, everybody in Zimbabwe understand to say we are not going to benefit as long as ZANU-PF is in power. They understand to say the few who are going to benefit are the relatives of the elite. They even understand it even right now when they are fielding candidates to say who is being fielded to contest on the by-election or whatever. I don't know what they call it, those selection for some candidate. They understand it to say it's only their own relatives and friends who are going to contest. The rest of the people will get it just you and they get it down and they benefit themselves. They are the same people who have benefited from the farms and so forth, or the so-called or the same people who are getting mining rights. And the same people they are giving their only the high-paying jobs like judges, tax commissioners, ZEC, customs, all those official jobs which have better income. They go to the sons and daughters and relatives of the elite. So everybody understands it because those ones who are in the military who are saving it to the lower rate, they understand it to say that not going to benefit as long as ZANU-PF remains in power. As long as the use of bond note is there, I'm not going to benefit. That is why everybody one is saying we can't use we can't use the way how we use the multi-currency system, which is there at the moment. And it is not really secured at the moment because it is going to end in 2025. If everybody understands that in 2025, we might end up going back to the bond note to say we might end up doing the same thing. It's a point of the United States dollar to go to the bond note, but it's very difficult to do that because we have experience to say it won't work. It's very difficult to de-dollarize. It will end up re-dollarizing again. And even now, everybody is admitted to say the economy is re-dollarized. But the laws we have, they don't support it to continue re-dollarized because it's going to end in 2025. So I don't think to say for somebody who is ordinary, say the police or the army or any other, they would understand it to say they won't benefit in the long run. Because at the moment, everybody is looking for a permanent solution. That is why even if we discuss or probably suggest the DNU, somebody would ask you to say, then what after DNU? Because they want a permanent solution. To say, let's get a permanent solution, forget about this politics. If they believe and we build our country, that is the message which is coming from the voters themselves, not the leaders, the voters themselves. That is what they are telling the nation to say. And the one other thing, rather say, we have gone, it's not difficult to penetrate the rural areas like what people think or what people say. Opposition is there in the rural areas. Even those people who were killed during Bukuwa, they were from rural areas, from Rambachina, rural areas and so forth. It's there, it has been there. But when people are silent and pretending not to be there, they are organizing and know what they are doing. We don't have to underrate it to say we are doing a lot on spaces. Maybe the foot soldiers are doing a lot, but in rural areas they were there before and they knew each other. And this is the opposition. And they were not selling each other. They protected each other for so long And that is the norm. And this year they will show you that they were already there. And even ZANU-PF knows to say opposition was there in rural areas. It's always there. And it's prepared to show when you say they do exist in that area, in the rural area. So that is what I can say here. I understand my chief is up now. Back to what's the cost.
Thank you very much, Uncle Dobbs. Thank you very much. As we keep working towards solutions to this problem, I want to challenge King Albert there. I think I will have $50 reward for the best video clip where an artist praises our soldiers and police and encourages them to be on the citizen side. You can inbox me later, King Albert, and we work on that. So if anybody else wants to partner with me, because we have to reach out to those soldiers, then maybe later we reach out to the traditional leaders too. We love them. Anyway, they are part of our families. So if we are together, blame like Sepo said, let's not blame them. Because it's not their fault. Mambo Sose said the same thing. Let's become one with them. And King Albert, and Estella, let's talk about this later on behind the scenes. But thank you very much, Dobbs. I think I will give this time to Mambo Sose to give his closing remarks before we go on to our host. Thank you, Mam.
Thank you, Dr. Amai. I continue to be thankful of the work that you are doing, because that's what we keep repeating here, that let's give people information, because ours is a war of information, and it's a battle or a war that we must win. And of course, it's a war that we are winning, but we will not be complacent. Let's keep doing the good work that we are doing. Let's keep talking to people, educating the people, giving them information. A citizen who has information is an empowered citizen, and you use that information to vote wisely. We are all here because we have been given information, we have received information. A citizen who has been given information is a citizen who take part, who participate in everything that is going on, because they know and they understand the essence and the importance of them doing that. People participate in fundraisers because they value the importance. They know that this is going to help Zimbabwe. A person who doesn't have enough information, you will see that they will come to a fundraiser and they will not participate and they will not donate anything, because maybe they've not been made to appreciate the importance of them supporting those fundraisers. So let's continue to do that. There was a tweet that was put up a couple of months ago by Chief Ndiweni, and was advising us on what we should do, in as far as handling chiefs and traditional and other traditional leaders. Masabhuku nemachief anogara muvanhu. Vanhu vedu, munhu wese ari panapa ana chief, ana sabhuku. Taura nasabhuku wako, taura nachief wako. Vazvinzwisise, vazvione kuti zvese zvavari kuitirwa neZANU-PF kungoitirwa kwokuti vakwanise kutyisidzira vanhu, varove vanhu, vakanganise vanhu mafungiro. And then after that, it ends there. ZANU-PF dumps you immediately after the election, and then they come back again, after 4 years, after 5 years. We need to educate our chiefs. And I speak to the traditional leaders in my area, and I'm telling you, they understand what is going on. So it comes back to what we have been talking about, the strategy by the champion in chief, the strategy by our Triple C leadership, Burumango approach. Let's tell them, what if you get trinkets from ZANU-PF, you get a car from ZANU-PF, take it by all means. It's your money, it's taxpayers' money, but know what to do. We want chiefs, we want Masabuku that will go and whisper in the ears of the people. They can get to that level if we engage them, if we talk to them. I think I'll try to find that that tweet by Chief Ndwele. It was detailed. It was talking about the approach, what you do, what you should do. As a member of the village, as a person who is in that village, talk to your sabu, talk to Sadunu, talk to the chief himself, and give them information. And of course, now during this voter registration, let's empower our people, starting with our family members, and tell them that it is important for them to go and register to vote. And now it's cheaper, it's easier, because the registration centers are now closer. They don't even need to get in the bus. But if they need to get in the bus or combi, you are there. Give them the $5, give them the $2. On one of my programs yesterday on Facebook, we had one woman, one lady from North America, who was saying she's actually paying the people in her family to go and register to vote. But not only that, if they bring 5 more people or 10 more people, they've said they've encouraged to go and register to vote, showing the slips to her, she'll pay them $20. So that's something that we can emulate. It's something that you can do at family level, at village level, so that people get registered to vote. I'm telling you, it works. Dr. Amai here will tell you as someone, a teacher, you start from the unknown, going to the you start from the known, going to the unknown. Fakatanga neme muri yako. Wenda kumberuko, it will become so much easier. And imagine, the possibilities if everyone here, will be talking to their relatives, will be talking to Anapapa Mkuruwa, Anasekuruwa, Vese over registered. We are about 4 or 5 million of us in the diaspora. If all of us could just take this as a responsibility, as a mandate, that you need to talk to your relatives, you need to encourage your relatives to go and vote, it will make a lot of difference. It will make the work of Triple C much easier. We are investing a lot of money, we are putting a lot of money in voter registration, and it's not sustainable. You need money to get people to the voting centers. We've been using money at least before the voter registration blitz. So now let's take advantage of this. It has been extended. We have 5 more days, 5 more days of encouraging people to register to vote. Let's all do that. Let's all participate. Let's make sure that the people are registered. We are saying this is the last opportunity for us to register people, and a lot of people, are confused by that. What it means is, yes, registration continues. Registration never stops. But after Mnangagwa proclaims an election date, and the election date is now there, it means everyone else who is registering after the proclamation will not be able to vote in the 2023 election. So it's important that we use this last weeks, because we are expecting him to do that immediately after this voter registration, and after all these noises by Monzora, Komichi, and many others. There's also another court case that should be going in next week by someone we are told that is coming from Mnangagwa's camp. So immediately after the noise by the noise makers about these court cases, the date is going to be proclaimed. Don't listen to what Monzora and other people are doing. Just something that is going to distract you from what we are supposed to be doing, registering people. But the elections are coming. The elections are going to be done. But after the dates have been proclaimed, the people that will be registering will not be able to vote. So we'll stop focusing on registration, really, after the proclamation, will now be focusing on making sure people have information, the right information that they need for them to go and make the right choices when they get in the booth, including those that have been failed by ZANU-PF. Make no mistake, ZANU-PF has been getting people to the registration centers, and they have the money. So your duty, my duty, our duty as citizens will now be to convince those people that have been failed, that have been carried by ZANU-PF to go and register. And we begin to give them information, pertinent information, telling them that they cannot be bought by being, carried in a bus to go and register. They cannot vote ZANU-PF simply because they were, ferried by a bus to go and register. That's not it. Let's educate them that their vote is important, it's critical, it's their lives. It represents their lives in the next 5 years. It represents even the lives of generations to come. It's their voice. It's what is going to determine their livelihoods in the next 5 years. So, avangatengwe nekunzi vatakurwa nebhazi. Saka it's our duty kuvaudza kuti ndio Bhurumango approach yacho iyoyo, ndio Bhurumango strategy yacho iyoyo. Wakwidzwa bhazi hongu, asi hazvirevi kuti unofanira kuvhotera ZANU-PF. Saka ngatitotanga kutaura nevanhu vedu vakakwidzwa bhazi neZANU-PF, because right now they are believing that because they were given a right by ZANU-PF, they have to vote for them. They have an obligation to vote for ZANU-PF. That's not true. And it's our duty here to remove that mentality, because that is what ZANU-PF is saying they should do. But our duty is to manage that information, remove that propaganda from our people, and they know that ZANU-PF, it's okay to carry them to the polling station, to the registration centers, but they cannot tell them that they should vote for ZANU-PF. These people, our people, must vote for a political party, a leader who is going to change their lives for good, not for a day or two. Saga, let's get talking, let's get giving people information so that they vote well after the registration visit. Thank you.
Maita yenyu mambo sose nenguva yamava muchiti udza so important a message that everybody is going to do. We are not going to be restricted by our geographical locations. Whether somebody is on the floor, on the ground, whether somebody is in South Africa, whether somebody is in the United Kingdom, anywhere across the world, it is our responsibility to make sure that Zimbabwe come 2023 August, it is going to be a changed country, and it can only be changed by the citizens. It is our responsibility. What we are doing now, what Emily is doing, Kumusha, what anyone is doing in Switzerland, everywhere, it will actually translate to the victory that we so wish. But I just wanted to quickly say that when we are doing all this, we realize that there are some people that, or there are some constituencies, I wouldn't want to say people, constituencies that would want to make diversions of what we want to do. Just along this week, if someone can make a reflection of what happened on social media and on the ground, that distracted them from doing what is supposed or what was supposed to be done. Because remember, this week, we were supposed to focus our minds, all of us focus our minds on the bliss that is taking place. But I promise you, on social media, on the ground, everywhere, people actually worked on different things. Just right now, people are doing something that is different from. And when I'm saying this, I'm not only saying that you don't need to do other things. There are a lot of other things that you can do, but there are things that are diverting our objectives to really change the status quo. So let us, as citizens, as Zimbabweans, focus ourselves on the goal that we have, that we need to achieve. We need to focus on the ball that is at hand. Just focus on the ball, and things will come right. And I also would want to come to the issue that Tsepo was saying. I later on realized that it is very true. Sometimes confrontation does not yield the result. We might want to be confrontational to the police. We might want to be confrontational to the army, even to the chiefs. But they have got all the resources. There's nothing that we can do. So engagement, like Tsepo was saying, I would want to believe it is something that is that can bring us as Zimbabweans together and make sure that we can get their hearts. And like Chief Shosho was saying, that all those people who are being ferried by the buses, by these ZANU-PF people, really some of them, they still have the mindset of saying, yeah, we need to reward the ZANU-PF that has ferried us and that has given us the food, the main seat, and so on and so on. But we can't just leave it like that. It is our responsibilities as citizens to say, this is the time that we need to engage our people. And you rightly said, Mambo, to say, yes, in as much as the Twitter space we are here, we see everybody. They are ours. We know we cannot convert them anymore. They are already in our pockets. So let us put our energy more into those people that are still on the other side and speak to them. Then they'll come. We still have time to engage them. But before I give Dr. Maifa to close the show, let me quickly write, like I said, that those people who could not come to speak up here, let me can you just put in the comment section. I'm going to be going through what has been written on the comment section. Some of it goes by Mkomateta say he says some will fall for it, but majority of the chiefs are smart enough to smell the coffee, which actually goes back to the issue of Tsepo Yekuti. Sometimes they are just doing it because they are an option. Vanokwanisa kwaura nodi vanenge vachingotywa kuti kana tikazoonekwa kuti zvatiri kuita izvi ndezvipi tinokwanisa kwati tinobudisa mabasa edu. And there are a number of chiefs that actually lost their jobs, lost their pets. Why? Because they were seen to be going on the side here opposition. So sometimes we need to give them room. How many 4x4s have been issued to these chiefs? How much does one of this cost? Where is this money coming from? The time of the handover of the motor vehicles of chiefs is obviously meant to compromise them and to make them willing to for ZANU-PF regime. This is very true. The timing of it is very, very, very important. And some people, a number of people, remember what they do is when they are heading over these things, they actually make it that people come together like a rally and say, see what is happening here. We are giving these people, and then people will simply say the government is responsible. But in the meantime, they are just lowering them, buying them. And then Ubuntu too goes on to say a significant portion of the newer police and personnel are recruited through the Border Gezi program. I have a relative from ZANU-PF who was advising young people to join Border Gezi in order to make it to the police or army. And I just wanted to also add on what Ubuntu said here to say it's not only the police and the army that have been recruited through the Border Gezi. I remember during the time around 2008 or something, when people were being encouraged to go to the Border Gezi training center, that are being told that it is a ticket to get into the civil service. And there are a number of people, not only in the army or the police, in the nursing, in teaching, in different sectors of the civil service, a number of people actually got it there. So it's very true what you say. And then we go to King. Albert, our champion who is streaming our show, he says this program is the program that we are running is called the YouTube channel that we have. And please, listeners and speakers, he says we shouldn't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I would want to add on this. He says we actually did this in order for us to broaden the viewership, the listenership, so that everybody will get the message. Like I said when we started our show, that it is important that we know that Twitter space is somehow restrictive. a very few populace of our people are on Twitter space, but there are a sizable number of people who are on Facebook who can access YouTube. So that we deliberately did that. So for those people who can, please just get into that and subscribe if you can. And then this one, it's a personal one to find. I'm not going to read something to do with finance here. What we should please forget. No, I'm not going to be reading anything to do with finance. But thank you very much to everybody who has just joined the space. That is all I wanted to say. Let's focus. Let me give this opportunity, Dr. Maifa, to close our space. Thank you.
Thank you very much, host, and thank you everyone on this platform, those who gave submissions and those who were part of the audience. We appreciate you all, and let's keep working towards making Zimbabwe a better place for everyone. Like Comrade Rainford mentioned, there's so many distractions, especially on Twitter. You know, the glitches, the technology, it's a distraction on its own. And then people, you know, staging conflicts there, some stage managed conflicts and some real conflicts. Let's not focus on those conflicts that are, you know, about individuals. Let's deliberate on issues that have to do with Zimbabwe. Kana space iri kutaura zvaJenford, why waste my time going there? Let's focus on rebuilding Zimbabwe. And then at Eastern time, 2:30, it's about in 2 hours and 20 minutes. We have a prayer going on. Praying, it's written, praying for Zimbabwe. Follow Mazmai or follow Maikuku. Let's gather there and pray for Zimbabwe. Here we are giving each other technical knowledge and information, but for it to succeed, we have to intercede on behalf of the country. We have to pray. So let's meet there in 2 hours, 20 minutes. Thank you very much. Have a blessed week, everyone. And let's encourage people to make a 2-minute video clip praising the Zimbabwe military and police. And then we'll touch Mani Samaj. Thank you very much, everyone. And have a great week ahead.